Hi guys and welcome to episode 4 of GTRU. Today we're going to be talking about our 4 main topics: movies, TV shows, gaming, and music.
We're also, because of the time length, and so you guys don't get bored, since our videos are like almost an hour, we're going to be splitting them up into 3 different videos. One for geek, one for technology, one for Rockstar. That way, if you guys, want to check them out, you can, but if you want to just watch one thing, you can as well. So, hope you enjoy, and we are going to be starting our first video from our geek category. First thing that we're going to be talking about tonight is a movie that we saw, and it's The Martian with Matt Damon, and it was amazing.
Really?
Yes. Basically, Matt Damon is a botanist, and he goes to Mars with a group of astronauts, and they're just, checking Mars out. And then they're forced to leave because of a storm. So, during the commotion, Matt Damon gets hit by a piece of debris, and they think he's dead, his team, so they leave him behind, but then you find out that he's actually alive. So now he has to figure out how to survive until they can come to rescue him with NASA. And it was really cool. Like, it was honestly very realistic. That's what really made the movie stand out. It was like, he had to find a way to plant food, like potatoes with Mars soil. He had to find a way to make water, which is pretty funny. There was a lot of funny stuff too, like when he blew himself up.
When he wrote to the NASA and he was just cursing his head off.
Yeah. And then even the Earth plot was pretty cool. Like, they were trying to figure out how the best way to handle it. And he had some good actors in it too. Jeff Daniels, he was the head of NASA. You had the guy who head of Mars missions. And then you also had Childish Gambino was in it. He actually was, he was a nerd, but he actually came up with the perfect idea to save him, which involved. So they actually, towards the middle of the movie, they actually come up with an idea where his team can rotate Earth, and they'll grab a thing of food that NASA will send to them, and then they will go back to Mars, and then they will rescue him, and then they'll have enough food to get to Mars. And it was really cool. The overall movie I gave about a 9.5 out of a 10. It was honestly perfect, except that I felt like there wasn't enough Matt Damon in it. Meaning that, it didn't really show him being in conflict with, a storm again. Or, say his beamer broke down in the middle of Mars. It didn't, show that. It showed, basically how to survive. And, he had to figure out how to communicate again. But other than that, it was it. And then, I feel like Earth was too heavily focused sometimes. But I did enjoy the Earth plot. But I just felt like Matt Damon should have been in it more. And we should have learned more about Mars. That was my review. And also, Jessica Chastain was in it. She was the captain.
Yeah.
Yes. And Kate Mara. She played Invisible Woman in the new Fantastic Four reboot, and she plays the reporter in House of Cards. She's not a upcoming actress. So, a good cast. What'd you give it, Shane?
I give it a 9.6 out of 10, being that I'm actually a huge fan of astronomy and all science. But the reason as to why I gave it a 9.6 out of 10 is because, first of all, he's a botanist. Throughout the movie, you kind of get the feeling of how is he able to do this? How is he able to do a certain type of things that you wouldn't think a botanist would be able to do. I do give credit, though, that they gave a little bit too much of the imagination to work with. So your imagination thought, oh, you know what? NASA said you can do this to do that, which they actually did show in some parts of it, but doing to how to get to the end of the movie. There's also one thing I didn't like. I didn't like, actually agreeing with him, about how it didn't show much of Mars, but it showed a lot of Earth.
Yeah.
But overall, though, the movie was really great. A lot better, sorry to say this about Interstellar, but it was a lot better than Interstellar, even though Interstellar was all theoretical. Love the whole sense behind it.
Exactly. That's why I enjoyed this movie a lot better, because it was more realistic. Because we've actually been to Mars. Because they found water on Mars recently, so very interesting. But that's what we gave it, and now for our next topic. Another movie I saw this week was Sicario, and it was very good. This one is more like a crime thriller, and it starred Emily Blunt, Benedict Del Toro, Victor Garber, and Josh Brolin. They were the main characters. Basically, the movie focuses on drug cartels going on in Mexico, and Emily Blunt plays the main character as Kate. She's actually a tactical SWAT team captain, so she basically does sweeps and she cleans up. And the whole movie is what I liked about it is the tone. It's very dark and very gruesome, and it really shows you how like screwed up and brutal the world really is, and a lot of people don't realize it. It even starts out crazy. She does a sweep through this house and she finds 42 bodies hidden in a wall. And then when they're searching, they find out, they open up this uh, hatch in the shed and it blows up and kills their whole team.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was really, like, the beginning just really caught you. And then throughout the movie, so then she's offered to go with this guy named Matt. And that's Josh Brolin plays him. Matt's like, oh, you have an opportunity to get the guys that killed your team, but we need you to come with us to El Paso so that we have an American tactical person. You know, we need a team. He's building a team, and he wants her expertise. So she agrees, but things aren't as what they seem, because when she goes with them, his team is very unorthodox, meaning they don't follow protocol, and they tend to just like in the beginning. And then Benedict Del Toro, he's Matt's partner. Matt says that they're from the Department of Defense, but what do you call it? Things aren't as they seem. Like, he's from this, you can tell he's working for someone, and Benedict Del Toro isn't who he seems either. And throughout the movie, like I said, they're very unorthodox, very off the book, and just Emily Blunt, Kate, she doesn't like it. She gets very stressed out. She goes back to smoking, and then she finds out later on, like in the movie, that the CIA, that Matt works for the CIA, and that they're actually working with another cartel, and that they're simply just using, this cartel's using the CIA to wipe out their competition, and Benedict Del Toro is a member of that cartel. It's very brutal, and then you find out that Benedict Del Toro is doing it because the leader of the cartel that they're going after chopped off his wife's head and then actually threw his daughter, his 6-year-old daughter, into a bucket of acid. And at the end, he actually, I don't want to spoil it too much, but it was really dark. It was really brutal at the end. Overall, the movie, I gave it a 9 out of a 10. The only thing, and the reason I gave it a 9 is because a lot of the movie was sometimes very slow paced. You're like, come on, they gotta really, get to the next part, It just felt like it was drawn out too long, so give it a 9 out of 10. Like I said, the cast was great. You had Emily Blunt. She played in Live Die Repeat with Tom Cruise. You also had Josh Brolin. He plays in Men in Black 3. He's Thanos in Avengers. You also had Benedict Del Toro. He's actually another Marvel character. He plays a collector.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And who was the other guy? Josh Brolin, Blunt, Del Toro. Oh yeah, Joe Bernthal was in it. He's from The Walking Dead. He was actually working for the bad guys as a corrupt cop, and they used him for intel and who was actually corrupt in the movie. That's about it. You have any questions about it, Shane?
No, but from hearing about it, I'm really excited to check it out.
Yeah, definitely give it a shot. It's very good. It's like a crime thriller type movie. So, I like 24, Blacklist, that type of movie. Very intense. All right, so we're gonna actually start to talk about our shows. Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow season 3 just premiered on Thursday, and it was actually pretty good. Season 2 for some reason was kind of reaching I liked it, but a lot of people didn't like it. The ratings were going down on it. But basically a recap of what happened at the end of season 2. Then season 2, they actually wrap up a lot of what was going on throughout season 1. Season 1, basically, the plot was moved on to 2, so they wrapped up everything from 1 and 2 at the end of season 2. Moloch, they got rid of him. He was the main villain. He died halfway through season 2, and then you had Henry, and you had Ichabod's wife, Christina. They ended up dying at the season because they're trying to establish a new witch order, but that would have required them to end the world, so it ended like that. And then they renewed it for a 3rd season, and it was pretty good. It starts off with Abby and Ichabod. Introduce some of the characters in case you don't know. Ichabod, so the story's about Ichabod. Basically, he's from the 1700s, and he goes into a deep sleep. Like he gets like a curse on him, and he wakes up in the 20th century, and then he realizes that he needs to stop the upcoming apocalypse that's about to happen. And there's a prophecy where him and another person, known as a witness, they're the two witnesses in the prophecy. He needs to find this witness, and they have to stop this apocalypse. And that ends up being the cop that finds him, Abby. And throughout the first 2 seasons, they deal with all these supernatural events that are going to end their world. So in season 3, they actually moved on because they destroyed Moloch, like I said. So Abby's actually, she's a cop, but she's actually now working for the FBI, so she actually is doing good with her life. Ichabod kind of, he went off and did his own thing, and when you find him, he's in jail because he has no identification. He's from the 1700s, he has no, driver's license or nothing. Mm-hmm. So Abby has to bail him out, and she's like, why didn't you contact me after all these months? He's like, there's a new threat rising. He found some kind of tablet in like his ancestors' like tomb that states that the end of the world is still about to happen, and it is happening. They actually introduced the villain of the season, Pandora. She's a witch. She seems to have some kind of power. Like she unleashes the first monster, which was revealed to be a secret weapon used by the British in the Revolutionary War, basically. And he was going around killing everyone in Sleepy Hollow, and then with the help of Ichabod, Abby, and her sister, Jenny, she helps him out from time to time. They were able to stop the monster. Now, the overall episode, I gave like an 8 out of 10. It was a good episode, good start of the season. New villain, new plot, new threat. So, nothing. That's about it that really happened. Like I said, well, what happens in episode 2. But that's all I have for Sleepy Hollow, and I'm moving on to our next show.
Alright guys, now we're talking about Heroes Reborn. Thank God I got to watch episode 3. Being that last episode of GTRU, I didn't get to see it, so this one had to talk about it. But he's going to explain to us what happened in episode 2 and 3, and I'm going to give you my input at the end. Go right ahead.
Well, 2, I discussed it in last, so I'll go to 3 so they know what's going on. The episode 3, basically, it's starting to really form now, the show as a whole. Now things are starting to, you get, what do you call it? The vibe that something bad is really going to happen. You get introduced to a new character named Melina. She actually is in the Arctic, and she has the power to control elements. And she seems to be holding back some kind of hidden power from the Northern Lights. So that's pretty interesting to see. And then you also find out that the former company Primatech that was trying to figure out what they're up to has been renamed Renatus. And it's being run by this woman named Eva. And she just revealed in this episode Epic, which is something you can wear with, it's basically, in a way, it reminds me of Google Glass. Definitely. You wear it and you can identify an Evo. And the way they're able to do that is because they have Molly Walker, which I said in episode 2, they captured her at the end. So they connected her to basically the core of Epic. So now with her, they're able to identify anyone with powers, which is not good because that means that they can now annihilate them a lot quicker. And actually, Eva has this new companion named Harris. He seems pretty deadly. He has the ability to clone himself. And actually, towards the end of the episode, he
gets his arm cut off by Nico.
Yes. And then actually, during the whole thing, it was pretty interesting, actually. You find out that the sword that she had was Hero's. But what's also interesting is that the first episode said it was her father's. So is Hero her father? That's why I kind of have that question in the back of my mind. But her father was in the video game when she went in the first episode. So it's kind of confusing. But anyway, Ren, the gamer guy, he broke her out, and that was pretty much it for their storyline. They're gonna go find the sword, and then Tommy's actually
evolving slowly.
Yes, he's starting to find out more about that man with the coin that's been protecting him. He's been watching over Tommy, and his mom does not like it. And at the very end of the episode, I left off on a very big cliffhanger when they get ran over. We don't know who or what did or why they did it. So we're gonna find out hopefully in episode 4 because that cliffhanger really sucked. Noah and Frady are just they're at the headquarters right now, and they tried to save Molly, but she didn't listen to them because Noah used to work for that company. So she's like, why would I trust a guy who used to work for the same people that are trying to get me? But Noah's trying to actually stop them. So I think the next episode they're gonna break her out, hopefully, or they're gonna get captured, which will suck. Anything else? Oh yeah, Luke and Joan. As you know, they're hunting Evos, and now that they have that list, they're starting. They're about to. They're getting their their plans together before they can like pursue it. But then you find out that Luke is actually starting to develop powers, which is pretty interesting. He seems to get the power from the sun, and he seems to towards like the end of the episode, he almost exploded. So he's almost like a supernova in a way. It's interesting to see how that's going to turn out. And then, oh, he also had the vigilante in Los Angeles.
Mm.
Yep. He's actually helping more and more Evos go through that railroad, and actually, one of the cops turns out to have super strength, so he got his ass handed to him in this episode.
Right through a freaking wall.
Yeah. So we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully, that'll like coincide because right, everyone's scattered still, so I'm pretty sure everything's gonna come together. That's what Heroes is. So basically, but it's doing good for episode 3. I just really hope that you don't end this on a cliffhanger because this is only a limited TV series run. So, but with everything that's happened, I give it a 9 out of a 10. It was a very good episode. It definitely was a pickup from the first 2 episodes. Oh, you Shane, how'd you feel about the episode?
Well, actually, I gave it a 9 out of 10 also, but let me tell you something. Honestly, I think the girl in the Arctic, she is the reason as to why there's more Evos being evolved. Being that Dr. Suresh, he said that that there for some reason there's a lot more Evos being there's a larger percent now than if there ever was. So that kind of betrayed me. I'm like, oh, you know what? This girl might be the reason as to what's going on. As to why Luke has powers now, and you never know if his wife might get powers too. You never know. But I do also want to say that Tommy is evolving with his powers, being that his mom was very shocked when he did teleport from right in front of her to right behind her. She was like, Tommy, and basically you got the feeling that she's like, he never did that before. I thought that he's slowly learning. So maybe in the next episode, something will happen.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of knows that he has powers, but I don't think she's seen it firsthand. Which is why she was so shocked by it.
Yeah.
But we'll hope they're, like you said, that we'll find out what happens to them next episode.
Well, now we're moving on to our next topic with TV shows.
All right, guys. So now moving on to Z Nation, which is doing pretty good. We're on episode 4 now of Z Nation, and it was very good. So it picks up where episode 3 when Murphy escaped from them and that big trucker and that whole huge fight scene with the cars. So now Murphy is going to Minneapolis because the guy that gave him Z-Weed said that the guy that makes Z-Weed is actually trying to develop a potential cure in Minneapolis, and Murphy would rather go through that than go all the way to the government and get screwed over again. So he went there, and we actually learned that they're still trying to figure out the cure, and it's in this this garden, and it has zombie plants in them, and they're basically harvesting basically their parts to figure out the cure. And so because Murphy has the ability to control them, he went to the doctor. He's like, hey, I can do this for you. So they went in together, and they actually developed some kind of strain. It was pretty funny because he tested it on a zombie head, and that zombie, after he gave it to him, it said brains. and they're like, oh my god, the cure's gonna start working because he actually talked. So that was pretty cool. And then his crew, the crew that Murphy was with, they found him and they followed him there. And then they finished the cure. They needed to get a few more ingredients, so Murphy convinced them to go in the plant house with him. So the plant zombies were really awesome. They're actually controlled from a master zombie, and the master zombie was legitimately the size of Hagrid.
Yeah, that's a big guy.
And nothing to Z Nation is that they change it up now. It's very cool. It's not like just one specific type of zombie. Because last week it was blasters where they couldn't control them for a while. Now this week was plants, so it kind of makes you wonder if they're gonna have more of that as the show goes on. Another thing cool about the plant zombies is that if you kill them and their blood gets on you, you automatically turn into a zombie. so you can't even kill him because what happened is that they actually killed the master zombie and all his guts went all over this guy. And then he just turned right into a zombie, right, just like that.
Jeez.
So, also a scorpion comes back. A scorpion was one of the bounty hunters in episode 2. He had a rocket launcher. He was causing all havoc for them, and he actually runs the drug for the seaweed. Like he runs a whole trade. The guy actually supplies it to him, and he, I don't know. He seems to be matched up to be some kind of a villain because he ended up killing the doctor, and he destroyed the strain because it didn't really work. Because what happened is that a scorpion gave the doctor the cure, and instead of him actually being cured, he turned into a zombie. So there goes that cure. That was about it that really happened. Oh, and Murphy's baby mama actually found them at the end of the episode. So, and the end of the episode ended with the baby's head actually about to go through her stomach. So we'll see how that happens in episode 5. So I give it an 8 out of 10. It wasn't as thrilling as the 3rd episode, but it was decent. So definitely 8 out of 10. But it's definitely a lot better than season 1 so far. Definitely building up, and hope it continues. All right, and we're going to be moving on to our other zombie flick.
All right, guys, now moving on to the Fear the Walking Dead. Oh my god, this newest episode was actually really great. First, let's hear about what happened in the episode by my good friend Jake.
It was a season finale, so we won't see it again until next year, unfortunately. But it really, everything that we had doubts upon throughout the season was answered in this finale, which is supposed to show you that the writers really know what they're doing with this The Walking Dead series. Characterization in this episode was very good. I guess we'll get into that. But basically, they're breaking out Nick and Griselda, but they don't know that Griselda's dead. So basically, Daniel, from the end of the 5th episode, he does release the zombies from the stadium, and the military is overcome by them, and from all the commotion, they're able to get in the compound. Now, in the beginning, Travis lets go of Andy, who was giving them intel of everything that was going on, Operation Cobalt, and he's like, "Oh, I'll go away, everything." So that happened. So Travis, being Travis, let him go, the humanitarian, and they went on their way. They did save Nick, and that was a very intense scene. Nick and his new friend Strand, who we were talking about last week, got out, but they were locked in a hallway, and it was very intense seeing them try to get them out with Liza coming to save them with their car. Even though it was jamming.
Yeah, I was actually really scared of what was going to happen.
And then another thing, the characterization, now that the zombies did infiltrate, and now that they're starting to really realize that they need to fight these things in order to survive, especially Travis. Travis had no hesitation this time in actually hitting and killing the walkers, unlike Madison, who's already been there since the 2nd episode. So it was pretty cool how that all transpired. Another thing, the military. Oh my god, the military has become actually more of a threat than anything. Especially towards the end when they're about to leave. This was actually the beginning of Travis' breakdown into the new world. Andy comes back to enact revenge on Salazar for torturing him, and he's like, to get at you, I'm gonna kill your daughter. And so he shot Ophelia, but luckily she was only shot in the arm, so she was okay. But Travis lost it. He legitimately just beat the living crap out of him. And honest to the point of, I don't know if he's going to live from that beating, honestly, but
come back as the next
they didn't leave him to die, so it's going to be interesting to see if he comes back in another season. That would really suck. That goes to show you really need to end it so that way you don't have any doubts. That's what happened to the governor. He came back. But basically, yeah, Travis is finally broken down. From everything that's happened, he just is no longer that person anymore. He's not at the Rick level, but he's getting there. This is his first breakdown because that guy broke a promise to him. He let him walk, and he came back and he screwed them over. And to him, he just had enough with the military in general because they were screwing around with them. Oh, bring it to your people; they'll be okay. He just go along with it and no more. So another thing too that actually made his character falter even more was there was a death this season finale. Unfortunately, his wife Liza was bitten in the commotion at the compound, so Travis had to end up being the one to shoot her, and that legitimately broke him. The very end of the episode was Madison consoling him as he broke down. So I really feel for the guy, but like I said, like it's gonna happen. Another thing that's gonna be interesting is what the show's heading. It's actually heading towards a place where Walking Dead is never even discussed. They go to Strand's house, and it's a very beautiful house. It's on a mansion, and he has a boat, and he proposes that they go on that boat and they head outward, which is very neat because honestly, in The Walking Dead, no one has ever actually been on a boat.
No.
In the game, they try to find a boat, but they're all gone, destroyed. So will be the first time ever that we'll be seeing the Walking Dead universe out in sea. So I'm very excited to see that in season 2. And also another thing in season 2 was I'm hoping to see a lot more of Madison's backstory. I feel like she has a backstory to her that she's more of a complex character than we think. So we'll see how that works next season as well. But overall, the action, the way the characters are set up, everything we've had doubts on, like where everything was heading, was great. So I gave it myself a 10 out of 10 for this episode. What'd you give it, Shane? How did you like the episode?
I feel like a little bit of a jerk saying this, but I gave it a 9 out of 10. The reason as to why only is because I know you're going to hate me for this, but when Salazar broke out the walkers, they really didn't show how he did it. I kind of wish like they would show how he did it. I know it's kind of dumb saying he probably just broke the chain, that's it. But I don't know, I kind of felt like it could have had a little more. Also, with what happened with Chris and Ophelia, I wish I saw the thing between that of how they just took the car and went. But that's about it. But it was a really high rating for what I saw. It was a really good show.
Yeah, definitely. I think ended it with a bang. Like I said, like, when you watch the whole first season, you're kind of wondering where, like,
It's going.
yeah, like you kind of like you're like, oh, these characters aren't going anywhere. But it's all character development. This show is all about character development, which makes it such a great show. So, well, that is all we have for Fear the Walking Dead. But The Walking Dead is not gone. Next week is the season 6 premiere of the original Walking Dead show, and we are very excited for that. We get to see what happens to Rick and his gang, and we'll talk all about that next week. But moving on to our next show. All right, so now moving on to Gotham. Episode 3, the show has been really good this season, and it just continues to outdo its former season. Episode 3 continues off where episode 2, Gordon and Bullock are trying to stop the Joker and Barbara, and they don't know that they're affiliated with Theo and the Tigers yet, but hopefully they will. But anyway, they actually go to question Jerome's father, who is, the Joker as of now, and to see if he has any connection. And they actually find letters and indicating that he broke them out, but we know that is false because it was Theo. So the Joker was actually making it look like it was his father to get Theo, to get them off the trail of Theo. So, and that was really cool because when they got there, there was laughing. There was some kind of knockout gas, and both Bullock and Gordon were hit with it. And the Joker again won, which is really what I really liked about the episode. The Joker stands out to be a very moving force through the show. And then after that, there was throughout the episode, there was an event, a magician show happening in Gotham, and Bruce and Alfred and Lee, Gordon's girlfriend, they ended up going there, to watch the show, and then it turns out the magician is the Joker. Joker and Barbara. So they actually do some cool magic tricks, and until Joker actually throws a... It's pretty funny. So for my next trick, throws a knife right in the guy's heart. Ta-da!
Jeez! Oh my god!
He was a lunatic. So anyway, it was really funny how it just happened. I was like...
Right.
If I saw that, I'd freak out, like, oh my god.
Got dead.
So then the maniacs took over that place. It became a hostage situation, and then Gordon ends up going there, and him and Bruce actually work together because Bruce escapes during the commotion to find a way to stop this madness. So the Joker, for some reason, wants Bruce, and he's like, oh, we have a lot of... It was really cool. It kind of, like, draws back as to like the origins of the Batman and Joker relationship. Because Joker's like, come on, Bruce, we're so like, I killed my parents are dead, your parents are dead. But the funny thing is that he doesn't know that that is going to be his arch nemesis in the future. But Bruce does go along with it, but he was able to smuggle a gun to Alfred. And then both Gordon and Alfred team up, and they're able to shoot down the rest of the maniacs. But the Joker holds Bruce hostage, and he almost kills him until there's a very big, this is a spoiler, big twist to this whole Joker dynamic. Theo, the one that's running, that he's the boss of the Joker, he stands up and he's like, you can't do this and everything, and you know, you think it's all show. I think Theo was using this event to make himself look like a hero, because then out of nowhere he takes a knife and he kills Jerome.
It was kind of ruined by
he stabs him right in the neck, and Jerome dies with a smile on his face, no less. Barbara is able to get away, so it was all part of their plan to kill Jerome and everything. So no more Joker for Jerome, but as I've been saying these past few episodes, the Joker is more of an idea than anything in this show, because at the end of the episode, Jerome videotaped his whole thing of this hostage situation, and a lot of people were inspired by it, because at the end of the episode, you had people all over doing his signature laugh, and then even someone actually killed 3 people just from watching the video. So it goes to show you that Jerome is an inspiration, that the real Joker that Batman will be facing in the future is out there. So we're hoping to explore more of that as the show goes on, but as of now, I think the Joker story has been concluded for now. So I'm really hoping that they explore more into it, because it's kind of a letdown. Like Jerome, he's a pretty good Joker. What else happened? There was a brief Penguin. He was watching. He's like, "What is wrong with this guy?" Joker, like he's freaking lunatic. But actually, Bullock came to to Penguin's mansion to threaten him. He hates the fact that he's the new Kingpin, and he hates the fact that he killed Fish, because he actually had deep feelings for Fish. So, basically, we'll see what happens, because it seems to be they're going to be targeting the Penguin next episode, which is going to be interesting, since he's one of the main characters of the show. Other than that, no new faces yet. They just wrapped up the whole Joker thing, but because of everything that happened, plus how they're handling Joker, I gave it a 10 out of 10 episode. It was very good, very well put together, and I can't wait to see what happens in episode 4. Funny thing about it was Alfred was actually hitting on Lee, and he didn't know that was Gordon's girlfriend, and Bruce was like, Alfred, Alfred, and he was listening. So at the end of the episode, when Gordon and Lee kiss, Alfred's like, really? And Bruce was like, I tried to tell you. He's like, you knew. He was like, yeah, I knew you would listen. So it was pretty funny how it transpired. But that's about it for Gotham. Let you know how episode 4 goes. Can't wait to see what happens. We're supposed to be seeing some new villains like Mr. Freeze and Hugo Strange. So we'll let you know how that turns out. And moving on to our final show for this video.
Hi guys, next thing we're going to be talking about is the Flash series. I'm very excited to talk about it, but I can't because I have not watched it yet.
Still catching up, so I'm going to be talking about the new season 2 premiere.
Go right ahead.
All right. So anyway, the Flash starts off right where the Flash season 1 ended. Season 1 ended with them stopping Wells, who was Eobard Thawne in plastic surgery form, as Wells. He was a Reverse Flash, and he wanted to go back to his time through a time rift, and they ended up opening it. And Barry decided to stop him, and at the end, to stop him, he kind of failed because the Reverse Flash is so powerful. So Eobard Thawne has an ancestor named Eddie who is there at the time, and he shoots himself to kill Wells and stop his reign of terror. So then the rift that's going to bring Wells back to his time is open and is destroying Central City. So at the end of the season, Barry had to close it, and he saw him running into the rift, and that's how it ended. Season 2 picks up 6 months after that, and so you kind of left, oh, how did they stop it? And then when you finally find out towards after they introduce everyone again, you find out that Ronnie actually sacrificed himself to stop this rift, and Flash is taking it to heart, because not only did Eddie die, but also Ronnie, and he feels like he's responsible for their deaths. So he's kind of just isolated everyone in this episode from helping him fight crime. So everyone's trying to, reel him in, make him realize that he needs their help if he wants to stop the rest of these metahumans. So, beginning of the episode, he's doing like a crime scene. Him and Joe, they're doing their thing, and then Flash just gets the key to the city, and he's reluctant because he doesn't feel like he's deserved it, but he goes. And then the Atom Smasher, he's a well-known Flash villain, makes his debut in this universe, and throughout the episode, Flash has to fight him, but he refuses to get help from his basically his friends. They want to help him, but he refuses. So he gets his ass handed to him multiple times until finally he decides to team up with them, and they're able to stop him by giving him too much radiation. And then you find out that he was actually sent from another well-known arch nemesis of the Flash, known as Professor Zoom. He told Atom Smasher that he would help him if he killed Barry. So we'll find out more as episode 2 happens. Also, because Barry stopped Wells, he actually had a video set up where he confessed to killing Barry's mom, so his father was cleared. So I'm glad they resolved that. So basically everything was wrapped up from season 1. I really enjoyed that. And now it's a fresh new thing, new villains, no new faces yet, just, the Atom Smasher, who was actually played by WWE former wrestler Edge. So that was pretty cool. Other than that, nothing, that was about it. Barry, he ends up getting back together with his friends, and the Atom Smasher, he stops, and we'll find out about Zoom later on in the series. I gave this episode 8.5 out of 10. It was very good. And actually, Arrow will be starting tonight, and as well as American Horror Story. So we will be doing reviews on them as well in the next episode. So, our show's cut out for us. But anyway, this is part 1 of episode 4, and we're going to be doing part 2 and part 3 now.